I'm watching this development with Yemen and the noise about Yemen. And Yemen just looks like an easy target. But I think that, when you're coming up against these terrorists, anything that looks easy, you're going to end up, running for the next 50 years. So that if Yemen keeps on being used as a way for terrorists to attack, then perhaps somebody might get smart and say, we better go into Yemen. But with Iran, with Iraq, still simmering there, and Afghanistan, okay, moving on. I think taking on a third war or a fourth war is going to be so messed up and so disastrous that I think that, how can you solve these problems? I mean, how can you ever stop terrorism? I mean, so it means that the world is going to be surely fighting them and then go down and end up busting the world economy. I mean, how to handle this problem? I know it's a real pressing and serious problem, but how else to fight this? I think maybe equipping the Yemen government to take on the people or holding Yemen, responsible for whatever happens. But I think if we become reactionary and of course if they blow up something serious, I mean, what else can you do? People expect you to, do something. But I think that the enemy really, really wants to get us into Yemen, Iran, and perhaps then they move to this other place, Nigeria. Then they're going to move to the Philippines. I mean, this thing is crazy. And will there be ever an end to the war on terrorism? I think that we got to come back to the basic problem. I mean, how can we resolve this Israeli problem in the Middle East? And I don't know. One solution to the Israeli problem in the Middle East. Now, I mean, Israel looks strong and they beat up all them Arabs in a week and all that stuff in a couple of days and so on. But this is just an aberration. I mean, when you go back into history, the Palestinians used to beat Israel. Everybody used to beat Israel except God fought for them. And they never won no battle. It's God who won battles to them. Battle of Jericho, Battle of Ai, they lost because they felt confident, oh, we could handle it, and going down to this little village and they got beaten up. They were never a brave, strong, fighting people. God is the one who protected them. And so when God rejected them, when they crucified Christ and stoned Stephen in AD 70, they got smart. They said, no, God isn't going to fight for us again, so we need to align ourselves with the superpowers so they're going to protect us. So currently, Hitler, I don't want to get into the details of what I understand about Hitler and the whole deal, but they ended up being Holocaust. And so they got a home in the Middle East and everybody said, well, this is the solution to the problem. Well, this brought not a problem. And this is how the enemy has been planning for the last 50 years. He planned ahead to today. I mean, if there was an Israeli problem, would there have been this war on terrorism? But the enemy wanting to have something, keep going. So they look down the road 50, 60 years ahead, and they said, you know what, if we put Israel in the Middle East, this is going to be it. Bam! It's working. Because this war with Iraq and Afghanistan almost bankrupted the whole world and America. So that this was according to the plan of the enemy. Now, with Yemen on the horizon here, and perhaps Nigeria, then the Philippines, and who knows, it's going to continue forever. Then at one time we might have 4, 5, 6 battles. Hey, the world is done. The Bible does not show that there's going to be peace in the Middle East, and I don't know why the theologians fool people to say that Israel needs to go back in the Middle East. Is that what God planned? And whom God has blessed, you can't curse. And when God says something and you go contrary to it, you will never have peace. Okay, so I think a possible solution is to, just make Israel a protectorate and give the Palestinians the independence and protect Israel. Help the people in the Middle East to develop themselves so that maybe they have some security and don't have to be warlike and so on. But then again, the enemy can have the Hezbollah and the other terrorist groups down there to keep on the stuff. So, man, this is something, bro. But what I know, though, is that if America really wants to see the next 50 to 100 years, or to be okay when Christ returns, if it's earlier than that, that you gotta watch these wars, man. These wars gonna get you, because this is what the enemy is doing. Two wars, almost bankrupt the world. And America, you bring them back up and bring on two more Yemen and something else. Man, this is something. This